All right, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Coming on here. Um, we got a good show for you today. I'm gonna do a kind of a reaction to a video I came across, and I titled this with the verse from Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and knowledge." And there's a video I came across. It was pretty good. One of the brothers had posted it in a group, um, and it's I trained under Ferrari's toughest mechanic. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to get in any trouble for it. But I'm gonna put it up here real quick. I'm gonna just show you some of the stuff. You could go watch it yourself. Is very good. Um, Okay, let me. So I'm gonna just skip through some of it. So he just showing, that older guy is a mechanic. Uh, he's a Ferrari mechanic. You see all those. He got millions of dollars worth of cars in there probably. Um, and man, it's a good video. Um, and I want to give some perspective on it though. On some aspects of it, and what the guy said, the younger guy, he said he went there and he's thinking he's gonna learn all these technical things about Ferraris and all that, but what he found, and to a degree in this video, they almost poke fun at this guy, at the mechanic. Again, they titled the video, "I worked under Ferrari's toughest mechanic." But the video should be titled, "I worked under Ferrari's best mechanic." Because this dude has attention to detail. And I could tell you, just go, when I went in the military and then going through school to be a aircraft mechanic, and then after doing that for 4 years, becoming an aircraft jet engine mechanic, the level of attention to detail is excuse me, is out of this world. And it can almost be a shock to, because it was a shock to me that, hey, just the level of attention they want paid to everything that's being done so you don't mess up. Why? Well, the why is obvious. Because one wrong bolt, one little thing, even slightly off, could mean the death of many people. At one point when I worked on J Stars, if I messed up one thing on those engines, on an engine installation or something, uh, the flight crew on those planes, it was like 40 people on that plane. 30 people. That's how big the crew was. You had the pilots and then all the people working the radar in the back that would fly on the plane all the time. So for like a lot of people, this video would be funny because the guy was making jokes, because the Ferrari mechanic was showing him the correct way to do everything. He told the dude to mop the floor. The dude wasn't mopping the floor correctly, and he showed him how to mop the floor. And this dude was kind of jokingly, he was shocked that, hey, this dude's picky about everything. But look at what this dude's doing. This dude here, I'll put it back up. It is a Ferrari mechanic. He works on Ferraris, one of the most expensive cars in the world. This dude is probably a millionaire, this mechanic. Like, he's making a absolute killing. Dollars, insanely priced. Okay? So this dude is highly successful in what he's done. There are professional athletes that I've talked to, And you see any person functioning at a high capacity, operating in high levels of wisdom, you see the same thing. Attention to detail, making sure they're doing it right. Okay? Not just haphazardly doing it. And to a person who's, hey, I want to learn to do that. I want to be a Ferrari mechanic. I want to be an aircraft jet engine mechanic. That's what I want to be. I want to be a jet engine mechanic. That's what I want it to be. Um, I want to be a professional athlete. You know, you're coming into a totally different reality than anything you've ever been exposed to. So it can be a shock at first, like, what the heck? You know, because you got a lot of underperforming people who've never functioned. They've always functioned in dysfunction, just doing stuff the way, hey, this guy was mopping the floor and he was standing in what he had just mopped. And then the guy comes and shows him, hey, you need to do it this way. And he's kind of making jokes about it. I understand he got to make a video, but it's so real life what they were showing in there. It's so real life because you get people, they come into something that they think they want to do, but when they realize everything that they're made up of is dysfunction, and they realize that their whole foundation of who they thought they were needs to change, now there's something wrong with the other person. You see what I'm saying? And that was me. Like when I went in the Air Force and I saw that Air Force, they call it the Air Force standard. And I didn't meet it. I struggled with it. And I used to try to make it, oh, why they doing this? Why they tripping on that? Why they want me to do this? And get tired of it. And then I realized it's me. I got to get to a higher level of being a functioning person. And when I submitted to maintaining and achieving the Air Force standard, that's when I began to get better. But a lot of people out here in the world they're completely oblivious that there's a whole nother level of functioning. Whether you're a mechanic, like you can be a mechanic and not make mistakes all the time and screw up and be forget. Like there's a whole nother level of functioning and operating that people are functioning at on high levels. Like as I progressed in my career, I began to get better at what I did to where I didn't mess up. And then I was entrusted to do higher level, more responsible things like installing engines on planes and running them and testing them and signing them off for flight. Like that's and the Most High with me. Like I took that very serious, as I should. But a lot of people they don't see that. They're unaware that there's a whole nother level. And I'm gonna tell you, if I was at that level doing things, then you got the pilots. They're at a whole nother level. Like there's a whole divide between where I was at and where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And then there's people that function on a higher level above that. If you ever talk to actual people who are in actual combat. Like I've talked to an Army Ranger, and I've talked to Navy SEALs and stuff like that. A Navy SEAL function at the absolute highest level where if they mess something up, they die. So these people function at just a level excellent. Everything has to be done right and perfectly. And again, to people who are just used to functioning in mediocrity, these people seem weird. They seem mean. They seem, you know what I'm saying? It don't, you know. So take all that I just said in the physical, and let's go to the spiritual. It's the same thing. And inevitably, being a head of assembly, you see people in these assemblies, being a head of assembly, you see these saints, they come in and they just spiritually, they're not functioning at a level of excellence as a word of Yah calls us to. Every time you turn around, just like you see them in the physical, forgetting stuff, messing stuff up, not doing things right, not doing it excellently. You see it in the spiritual too. It when they function that way in the physical, they function that way in the spiritual. And there's a myriad of mechanisms people use to cope with that and cover it up and justify it and deal with it. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to go through the pain. You have to face yourself. You have to humble down, and yeah, because I could tell you, most people from this video, they would laugh. They would get laughter from it, and you know what I'm saying? It'd be funny to them the way that this guy is operating and functioning, and the way they would call him uptight about everything, making sure the right hardware's on everything. Like that was, man, I can remember doing jobs on planes and going back and looking at it 2 or 3 times and then getting ready to go home and realizing I could have possibly forgot something, go back and look again, end up going home late and looking at it again just to be sure that I'm sure, you know? But again, we're called to function at high levels of holiness. Are you functioning at a high level of holiness? Or are you just sloppy, nonchalant, you know? Or are you functioning in excellence? This is where the growth and development happens. This is what it looks like on a spiritual level. This video, I trained under Ferrari's toughest mechanic. Think on the spirituals the same way, man. That's what it's like being a head of assembly, and you got these saints who come in, and they don't get it. They don't function at a high level. They're used to just, they've been conditioned to be mediocre, and you sitting there. Every second you turn around, you sitting there. Hey, don't do that. Hey, be careful about that. Hey, make sure you do that. Hey, why didn't you do that? Hey, where's this at? Y'all, we got to push ourselves. We got to operate in excellence. So let's book it. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Let's get another verse here. Listen. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. Y'all, don't stop getting wisdom. A lot of people wind up functioning in a sloppy way and in a mediocre way because they stop getting wisdom and they stop getting understanding. It said, in all thy getting, get understanding. Make sure you understand. Okay? It's a big thing. So what I want to suggest though is let me see what I could do here. There we go. Okay, so what I want to suggest y'all do is go watch this video. It's called I Trained Under Ferrari's Toughest Mechanic, and watch it. And not from a joking standpoint of the host making the jokes, but because that's what people do. That's people's typical response. Instead of submitting themselves to the leadership, to the elders, to the person, you know what I'm saying? Submit themselves and know that, hey, gold is tried in the fire and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You understand what I'm saying? That this video is a good example of the improper way to come at being, getting wisdom, getting understanding. You're making jokes and stuff like that. But towards the end, he did realize, yo, this dude's, I don't know if he fully realized, but yeah, this dude was setting him up to take him to the next level. Again, this dude is a Ferrari mechanic, a Ferrari master mechanic now. And he does everything particular with excellence. He's doing that work on the Ferrari as unto the Lord. That's what the Bible tells us to do. Do our work as unto the Lord. And I watch people, man, the work they do is so shitty. They effing up so much. It's like, I hope you ain't doing that as unto the Lord. You doing that as unto Satan or something. But yeah, it's definitely a good video. Got a lot out of it. Y'all definitely go check it out. And yeah, that's what I want to come on here and talk about, real short. But appreciate y'all tuning in. And remember, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Okay? With that said, I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Shalom, shalom.